The San Francisco 49ers have officially came up short of the NFL Super Bowl win versus the Chiefs, losing in a very tight game coming down to the last play of the game. But with that being said, they decided to make a big move, right? They ended up letting go of defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, who actually led this team in the right direction defensively for the most part of the season. They're ranked number 4 in points allowed per game, number 8 in yards allowed per play, number 4 in touchdowns allowed per game as well. So they were one of the best defenses in football throughout the majority of this season. So a lot of people right now are confused, are wondering, well, why did we let go of one of the best DCs in football right now? And I think there's a big answer to why John Lynch and, the front office decided to move on from Steve Wilks. In this video, we're going to break down why this was the perfect move, as well as break some news that you guys need to hear about the next defensive coordinator for the 49ers. However, before we jump into the major news, make sure you guys comment down below, who do you think would be a perfect fit for the next defensive coordinator role here in San Francisco? There's been a lot of good talent. Robert Saleh, DeMeco Ryans. I mean, there's been a lot of good talent over here in DC. Who is going to be the next, and who is the biggest fit? Also, comment down below the number 1 if you think the 49ers can win the Super Bowl next season, and comment down below what is the biggest position of need for the 49ers going forward. But without any further ado, let's jump into why this is actually a very good firing of Steve Wilks. Now, the NFL media is taking this way out of proportion right now. Everyone is saying that the 49ers are making a big mistake getting rid of Steve Wilks because they were such a dominant defense for the majority of the season, but they're overlooking what we saw towards the end of the season. And there are a lot of things that happened this year that you could just tell Steve Wilks and Kyle Shanahan were not on the same page. There was a clear disconnect between Shanahan and Wilks. Not only them two, but also the players and Steve Wilks as well. So on the outside looking in, it looks like they're making a terrible move because they were one of the best defenses in football in terms of points allowed, yards allowed, and whatnot. However, there were some categories where this team wasn't that good. I mean, let's just take a look at, they couldn't get off the field on third downs, ranking number 24th in third down conversion rate allowed, which was the biggest issue that popped up in the Super Bowl. They couldn't get off the field on third down. And this, this move is a lot more than just the numbers that they put up. It's more of the connection, right? The more of the bad energy between the two. And I think on the outside looking in, yeah, it looks like a bad move. However, this could be a massive move for how the players see, the defense going forward. I think it could be really, really good. And one of the first clear signs that this happened was when, Kyle Shanahan publicly outed Wilks for a cover 0 call versus, I believe, the Minnesota Vikings it was, which was a massive mistake in that game. And then they had struggles during the bye week, and you could just tell this team wasn't right, and Steve Wilks just isn't the guy. Not saying Steve Wilks is a bad coach at all, but I don't think he's the right fit for this team and what Kyle Shanahan is trying to do defensively. Now, with that being said, who do you think is going to be the next defensive coordinator? Comment down below right now, because we have some real big news that I'm about to break to you right now on who will be the next defensive coordinator of the 49ers. Now, before we talk about who will be the next defensive coordinator for this 49ers team that could potentially lead them to a Super Bowl, do me a quick favor and hit that like button just to get this video out to more 49er fans around the world. But also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free, it doesn't cost anything, and I'm going to be covering the 49ers throughout the entirety of the offseason. During the dead period, I got you guys covered with news, notes, highlights, everything you guys need to see. So make sure you guys join the family, hit that like button, subscribe, and lastly, check out BetUS. It is my absolute favorite sports book on the market right now. You got a live casino, a live sports casino, a regular sports casino, and horse racing as well. They have everything you could think of. Go sign up, use my promo code. They'll match your first deposit up to 125%. Basically, just giving you guys free money to go win more money with, right? But also, they just gave away Super Bowl tickets to this Super Bowl. Just think about what they're going to do next. Go check it out, link in the description, sign up, hit the like button, subscribe. But let's get into who should be the next defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Now, there are a ton of rumors surrounding the 49ers and who will be the next defensive coordinator, and there's a lot of guys already in the organization that could even win this job. Daniel Bullocks, you have Nick Sorson, but there's also a lot of guys outside the organization that most likely will be interviewed coming up here very, very, very shortly. I mean, one of them is Mike Rabel, a former Titans head coach, former defensive player for the New England Patriots team who won a couple of Super Bowls. You have former Titans cornerback coach and passing game coordinator Chris Harris. There is a lot of guys over here that could fit in perfectly with this 49ers defense. Even a Georgia co-defensive coordinator and Glenn Schumann, who could come over here as well. He's a young emerging coach over in Georgia, one of the best defenses in college football. He could be the next option as well. But there has been one former head coach in the NFL who's been, really, really in the mix to win this job. Now, it's not really, right now clarified that he will even be interviewed, but there's a lot of rumblings going around the NFL in San Francisco that Brandon Staley could become the new defensive coordinator. And here's why. Now, as of right now, my opinion is this man right here, Brandon Staley, is probably the best option at DC available in the NFL right now. And if you look at his history, he has showcased why he is such a good defensive-minded coach. However, I will say, just don't think he's ready to be a head coach just yet. He still has a lot of time to develop in that category. But I think when it comes to defense, he knows how to get the most out of his guys. Not only that, but a lot of teams in the NFL were very interested in bringing him in. I mean, he was interviewed in multiple different spots, right? He was a former Rams coordinator, led them to one of the best defenses in football in 2020, only allowing 281 yards per game, which was number 1. They only allowed 18 points per game, which was number 1 as well. And listen, he's been offered by the Green Bay Packers, the Miami Dolphins, and even the Rams wanted him back at a time this offseason, but they ended up going with another internal candidate there. But for the 49ers, if you're talking about a guy here in Brandon Staley who can come in, bring that energy, but also knows how to coach a defense, this is the guy you want on your team. He knows how to run a cover 3 defense, and you know what? I think it fits the personnel that Shanahan is bringing here in San Francisco. I mean, when you look at their defense, this would be a perfect fit for Brandon Staley to come in, teach the players, different looks, different fronts, giving them different approaches that also would make them a more versatile team when it comes to, playing in the Super Bowl versus a team like the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, right? Now, when it comes to those big games, you need to be able to show different looks and not be so predictable. I think Brandon Staley could come here and be an absolute perfect fit. Now, there are other guys out there like a Pete Carroll. If you can somehow get him as a DC, maybe that would be a perfect opportunity. Don't know how possible that is. If you even want to take a coordinator job over a head coaching job, or even Bill Belichick or Mike Rabel would also be a good one as well for the defense. But I think we need to really keep a close eye on Brandon Staley. And, a lot of guys right now, a lot of people around the NFL are starting to believe that, they fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, without knowing who's going to be the next defensive coordinator. But now that Brandon Staley is available, they're starting to look at him and be like, okay, this could be something we really, really need to take a look at here going forward. Now, really quickly, if you guys disagree with me, if you think Brandon Staley would not be a good fit, listen, I understand that as well. When you look at their rankings defensively, they were not good this year, right? They were just not a good offense, not a good defense. They were, quite frankly, just terrible this year. And if you think Brandon Staley is a bad fit, let me know in the comments down below. And if you think he's not a good fit, comment down below your dream pickup for defensive coordinator. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next 49ers video. Peace.